Happy Wednesday, everybody. I hope you all are doing well. Yet another week of interesting events going on in our world. The card for today actually is the subject I wanted to talk about this evening, which is, this was from my the shamanic medicine deck that I have, and the card for the day was water. And there's so many things to talk about with water, but it just kept coming up again and again today that's what I needed to be discussing. And so the first thing, obviously, is conservation, and that's why I think that water has been popping up a lot. I don't know if you all have been aware of the oil spill in Mauritius, Africa, but the Japanese oil rig that hit a coral reef a few days ago has been leaking so much oil into the waters there, and so they've been scrambling to try and save the wildlife and try to stop the oil leakage as much as possible. And so I think if we could all just take some time to just try and send out some positive energy to that area, and to trying to save the sea life and all of the creatures that live around there. It is just so devastating. I've been checking on it every single day. And also just regular conservation in our own areas. Are we doing enough to conserve the water that we have? And, even our own usage in our own homes. And, are we, doing, the minimum amount of usage of water, or do we have a leakage somewhere? Just checking on that. Are you drinking enough water? Because water actually is the cause of so many medical issues, and people don't realize how important water is, that it can cause, obviously, things like, if you're not drinking enough water, kidney stones and fatigue. And they've actually done a lot of studies that if you are dehydrated, especially on a regular basis, it can actually add to depression and anxiety, because our brains are 70% water, and we need to have enough fluids up there. And if we are not drinking enough water, then our brains are not working at full capacity, and it can lead to depression, anxiety, having difficulty remembering things. So there's just a lot, and you can research all of the different medical issues that you can have concerning dehydration and just not having enough water in your system. But also looking at it from a spiritual perspective. So that's more of what I wrote about this morning concerning the card about water, as far as, it is our psyche, it is our emotions, because water is the sign for our emotions. It's also psychic abilities, all of these different aspects that we may not even think about. And there is an amazing scientist named Dr. Emoto that he crossed over a few years ago, but you can Google this. Just type in Dr. Emoto water and look at images, and he actually did a study on the molecular structure of water in comparison to the words that were said to certain vats of water, and he showed that water that had positive, loving words spoken to it, actually the molecules actually looked like snowflakes, and they were very beautiful, and they were pristine. And the water that had horrible, ugly words spoken to it, hateful words, was all jagged and black. And it just shows how water, it retains energy, and it retains, especially concerning words. And this is something I talk about a lot with a lot of my clients, as far as if you are in an abusive relationship, especially verbal, then you are actually physically retaining in your body the negative words that are spoken to you. And a lot of my clients, a lot of just people in general that are in verbally abusive relationships, actually have a lot of physical ailments because of this. And they never really sort of connect the dots there. But when, if you think about it, if we are more than 70% water, and then we're having negative words spoken to us on a repetitive basis, then that is changing the molecules in our bodies. So this is why verbal abuse is just as destructive as physical abuse, and all abuse should not be accepted, anything like that. So if you are in an abusive relationship, then that is something that you definitely want to try and get out of. And there are many hotlines and different resources that you can reach out to if you want to get. Yes, he wrote a book about that. Yes, Marianne. It's you can just Google it. It's Dr. Emoto, Emoto. Okay. But just looking at the situation that you're in, if it is, and it could be at work as well, not just at home. And this is something that a lot of people don't think about concerning their own work, is that if you are in a really horrible job environment where there's a lot of negative words spoken to you, then it's going to be the same thing. Okay, so just look at the spaces that you are in the most, and the words that are spoken to you. And if they are negative, then, that is something that is changing you on a physical level, whether you realize it or not. Okay. So, and this is something that I talk a lot about. I actually teach a lot of elements classes, earth, air, fire, water, spirit. And if you are interested in studying those things, this is more of a shamanic class that I have offered for many years now. If you want to just take individual classes with that, or I've actually had people study for a year long of working through the different elements throughout the different seasons. And that really just sort of brings you into more of an awareness of the elements that we live around on this planet. And water is, obviously one of the elements that holds these different energies of our emotions and psychic abilities, and we look at the various aspects of the ways that you can work with the different elements. So I just wanted to talk a few minutes about that. I actually can talk for hours about each one of the elements, but I just wanted to bring that up because that is something that has been on my mind a lot. And then there is the card for the day, and the water issues that are going on right now concerning the oil spillage and everything else. I think we just need to be more aware of the water around us and trying to preserve it, because it is sacred. It is a sacred part of this planet that we cannot survive if we don't have water. So if you are on YouTube, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. It is Priestess Andarta, and I am uploading these different videos from Facebook onto my YouTube channel, so you can watch them here or there. And you can also just, if you're interested in receiving my newsletter, so I send out a monthly newsletter in the middle of the month, usually about the 15th of the month, and I look at astrological things going on during that month. I look at the sky, the land, and within. So I look at what's going on the planet, as well as the different cycles of the year, of the holidays, and the things that we all may be experiencing at this time. So if you're interested in receiving my newsletter, just message me your email address and I can add you to my list. I talk about a lot more in depth of different things through my newsletter, so you are welcome to do that. I have some openings left tomorrow evening, and then I have some openings on Saturday for readings. So if you are needing a reading, and I know that a lot of people are really struggling right now, and if you haven't seen my website, I'm actually having a sale on readings right now. It's usually $75 for a half an hour and $150 for an hour, but my sale for August is $50 and $100, and so this is the time to get a reading with me if you're a little strapped for cash, just to see. A lot of people have been getting readings on what their next step is, especially with the pandemic and how it may have affected them. All of the different things that are going on in our world, people are having a lot of uncertainty right now. So, I am here for you to do those readings, and that could be either over the phone. We could do a video or a phone reading, or we can, if you are in the Denver metro area and you do want to come in person, I just ask that you wear a mask, and I wear a mask as well. And I'm in Broomfield. So I think that was pretty much it. Just being more aware of the water consumption that you do or lack of, as well as the water usage that we are using, and just trying to prevent more destruction to our water, because we absolutely need it, as well as all different creatures on this planet need water as well. So you all have a good evening, and I will see you next Wednesday. All right, have a good evening. Bye.